Welcome to Spirituelle Sunday, where women of the world meet. Every Sunday at 7 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, women from around the world unite for communion with true wisdom, soul purpose, and deep destiny. Watch us on most channels at Spirituelle Society or on our website at spirituellesociety.com. Each week, through inspired teachings, soulful reflections, and supermind secrets, we explore the deeper dimensions of spiritual leadership for women and what it takes to live a powerful, purposeful, pure, and prosperous life on this planet today. Hello, women of the world. Welcome back to our Spirituelle Sunday. We like to call this our sort of sacred hour, our sacred 30 minutes of the week. And we just wanted to welcome you wherever you are in the world. This is going to be a really big and powerful week this week. And so we felt that it was our duty to do this live tonight. We called it Why This Is a Massive Week. Yes. And I'm here with my co-host, Kathy Roseborough.
Hello.
And we had a couple of conversations over the last day or so, and there's really no title that can really condense what this week is all about. So many of you have shared with me that you may not know how to language it, but there is something rumbling in the body this week. There is something really powerful. And so we wanted to talk about what the heck is going on, what this is all about, and what can we do about it? How can we prepare for the week ahead? And we just wanted to kind of unravel a little bit more insight into, probably as a female, why you're feeling the way you are feeling right now. So just know that you're always welcome to send us a message. We would love to hear from you. Share any comments below. Let us know where you're listening from. And every week, as we grow our community, we really are here to support you, because this is a transformational time for women. And in our day-to-day life, we're distracted so much. We're distracted out of the reflective process of the feminine. And not only are we conditioned to be distracted, but right now we're feeling anxious, we're feeling out of sorts. And so the more distracted we are, the less we're actually going to get clarity around what am I meant to do? What is my soul path? You know, all of the insights that are meant to be coming to you right now can't get to you if you're always distracted. So the week ahead is a really powerful week. And the best way to describe it is that women are ending an era. We are ending a big chapter. And there are many different ways you might have voiced this to your friends or to your family members. Many men have been wondering why their women are more uptight or frustrated or short-fused over the last little while. But the way I like to share it from my own perspective is that we are really integrating and healing, and all of that trauma and all of the old that is meant to leave the body right now is percolating up, and it's so ready to leave. It's so ready to exit, so that you have this beautiful, clear channel to enter not only a chapter for your life, but a completely transformational new era. And this is where we are this week. Kathy's going to share more of this. We're going to talk about the physical aspects, the emotional, the mental, and the spiritual, and we'll put as much as we can into 30 minutes. I'm going to share a little bit from a physical perspective on what has been happening and how you can really equip yourself to live your greatest life, and how you can step into that excellence. A lot of women have found over the last decade, it's the excellence piece that they've been lacking. We've all sort of fluffed into mediocre a little bit for many different reasons, but now we're feeling this frustration, this fire, to step back into our excellence and to get clear and to set the sail of like, what do I want to create with my life? Because time is passing by, and I don't want to have a regret that I settled for mediocre.
Yeah.
So this is that week where you are being introduced to your new era, but a lot of the old scrap material
well said.
you've accumulated not only from your own experiences, and this is not a, we've done something wrong, but we accumulate some cobwebs, some heaviness, some density over our lifetime. And now is the week where it's ready to leave. It's almost like this loving gift that the body is like, all of this that maybe I've been frustrated about, or I've gone to therapy for, or I've worked through. It's like giving you a loving nudge to say, we're all ready to leave, so that you can feel clear. And sorry, I have a little bug in my ear. So that you can feel clear and this beautiful, clear channel for why you're here and your soul purpose. And like, you can step into the world so vibrant and beautiful and at your best. So this is the week of, I hope I'm going to share some insights that might be helpful, that I have found helpful for myself. But there are many things you can do. What I want you to remember this week is that from a physical body perspective, there are things you can do to help. You're not just clearing your home. Many of you are feeling this like urge to cleanse, to speak your mind, to be more vocal. Maybe you're getting more frustrated. Maybe things are kind of falling apart a little bit around you. But it's all timed so beautifully right now, because it's like, it's ready to go. And at the physical body level, there are things you can do this week that are going to support you to be able to step into this new era like a light body instead of feeling very heavy. A lot of women have been trucking around grief. They've been trucking around guilt, especially, women, of course. Some trauma. I'm not good enough. I haven't done as well as I thought I would do. And we've been carting that around. And over time, that does densify into physical matter. So we feel heavier. We feel like, what happened? I'm feeling very heavy. And right now, there's this beautiful time where it's all that heavy energy is ready to release. So some things you can do this week would be breath work, like a lion's breath. If you do yoga, is a really great one, where you're taking a big inhale and you exhale with your tongue out. Like, do a lot of that, or detox breath. Some of you probably have done breath work teacher trainings, but any type of breath work that's going to help really press the exhale out to get that stale material out. This week is a really good week to have a practice a few times, like several times a day. It doesn't have to be an hour, but just remember, morning, midday, evening, like do that lion breath, or that like deeper exhales to clear the body. There's some other things that, the other thing that's really important for women to know is that what you're shedding is not only the old trauma or the old lower vibrational emotions, but you're also shedding the costume of authenticity. A lot of us have picked up this costume that we've put on through conditioning to be liked, to fit in, to fit that job that you're supposed to be, the accountant or the teacher, So we have this costume that may have served us for a certain chapter, but right now it's about shedding the costume. So it's not that always easy, and it takes some time, but I just want you to reflect and contemplate on, how can I be more authentic? How can I show up more authentic without being afraid that somebody's not going to like me, that I'm going to get judged, that maybe I'll be a little different than what they remember, like how I used to show up. It's this courage of unraveling into authenticity. So when we talk about you're shedding your old chapter right now, it's a lot about you're shedding that costume, that label, that costume that has kept your body rigid, because the body is meant to be fluid. I went to a dance class yesterday, and I always observe dance teachers or professional dancers because there's no rigidity in their body. They move your life fluid. And my teacher, like, I just loved watching her walk. There's this fluid energy. And when we accumulate the costume of looking perfect or being perfect or always having to show up like we always have, our bodies become rigid, and that impacts our health. And as women, we're meant to be fluid. We're meant to move like water, right? So if you can do a class this week, dance or yoga or Tai Chi or swimming, something that is not so structured and rigid will deeply help move that old emotional cobweb waste out of the body. And you might want to sign up for a dance class or a yin yoga class or something that's going to help get that rigidity out of the body, because we're conditioned to be rigid. And first of all, it's completely void of joy when we become too rigid, but we're not authentic. We end up wearing this costume and carting it around, and our bodies can't move. You know, watch how a lot of women walk. Like, there's no fluidity, there's no flexibility. And it's because we've really harmed the feminine aspects of who we are. So movement this week is really important, breath work and movement. And what I want you to think about this week too is start setting a new rhythm for yourself, a new daily rhythm that includes your self-care and your beauty rhythm, your rest rhym. What do you want your day to look like? Your hydration rhythm for the day, juicing or drinking more water or herbal teas every day. Hydration, elimination, because again, we want to continually clear the body of waste. So colon hydrotherapy, chi machine, acupuncture. Think about, what do you want? Now is the week. It's like, I'm setting a new rhythm for my new era. And you have to get a little mad. You have to get a little mad and be like, no, I'm not tolerating mediocre living, but I'm responsible for setting my new rhythm. So these are just a few things for your physical health. Obviously, like today I did a sauna, I did a quick little run, colon hydrotherapy. You can't always fit everything in, but today was a day where I'm setting a new rhythm. And so what's most precious to me, deep bathing, things like that. But if you can really write down the elements that are most important to you, like your sauna or any of your habits for the physical body that are non-negotiable for your new rhythm. And when I say daily rhythm, you're not hard on yourself if you have a day or two where you don't do them, but you get back on your rhythm as quickly as possible so that just starts flowing. I'm going to pass it over to Kathy because she's going to go a little more into the mental, the spiritual, the emotional aspects of this week and why it's so massive this week.
It is. Well, just listening to all of that, all those goodies, like these are the fantastic reminders and teachings that, women got to jump right in. You know what I loved? I pulled out of that thought of what you said. You kind of have to get a little angry. And it reminds me of you have to feel the annoyance of like you're fed up. Like you're like, no, I'm not doing this anymore. And let's go to that big picture for a moment. We have had some, I like to call them, they're like energy wave patterns that our humanity or our spiritual human consciousness moves through collectively. And we have a choice to move beyond the mass conscious collective consciousness that can move very slowly. But when they have eras or cycles of opportunity for change, and predominantly right now where we're at, last quarter of 2025 with a equinox, it is a change of a season on Earth, but it's much bigger than that in terms of a cycle. We have cycles. And so that cycle starts on the 22nd of September, is actually a part of a much bigger cycle. So this is where the enormity comes in. So when you say to yourself, I'm feeling like I am going to change my life, what's happening is we're getting, our little intuitive receptor sites as a woman are picking up the fact that change is in the midst. Like this is the cycle of change. And what it has its, we'll call its core, its depth, or its source in, is obviously much bigger in terms of how our divine consciousness changes mankind. We evolve, we grow, we advance. Health and wellness, number one. We're under some influences right now, especially that bring down the woman's attention to her inherent female side. Now, I'm not just talking about the female body alone. I'm also talking about the greater internal matrix or structures of the female in all her levels of consciousness, right from the physical through to the emotional, the way we think, the way we reflect, our visions, our creativity, our nurturing, our comforting. I could go on and on in that, the qualities or attributes of being a woman. Now, what's happened is that over so many cycles of repression and disturbances and corruption to the cycles, and unable to, like, we've been moved into positions of limitations. It's sort of like inside something has turned, and we can thank the cosmic for that, or thank the divine cycles for that. This turning point at this end of this year is beyond, like, I can't say enough about the various levels of influence that are coming in for us from a spiritual sense. So what does it mean as we go forward? What, in terms of your physical determinations and goals, everything you said, Lee, that's everything we encourage a woman to pick up on. And now please add to that, or blend with that, a leap in your spiritual training, a leap, so that every day you're realizing you are more than a physical body. Look after this physical body. It's your sacred temple. But this cycle says, expand consciousness, step into that reflective side of yourself, intuitive, trusting your intuition, and you will find yourself going in leaps and bounds from 2025 into 2026 and beyond. This is, don't miss the boat. Like, I must sound like a little bit silly, but I'm saying, please don't miss the boat. Even if you're saying, well, I don't know, and I'm a little nervous. Yes, go ahead. Be nervous. Feel your vulnerability. I mentioned in my weekly energy updates this week, I said, you might feel like a tiny little baby lamb in springtime, a little bit vulnerable, but please don't let that stop you from trying. And if you just take that first step and say, I know I am greater than what I've been experiencing.
Yes.
You know you're greater.
Yeah. And so, like, I know yesterday I said this out loud, and then when I talked to you, you repeated it in a few different words. But yesterday I was like, it's a line in the sand day. And I actually was like, wow, it really does match up with the 22nd, give or take a day before or after.
Absolutely.
There was this, it's non-negotiable anymore, right?
Exactly.
Because we're the leaders of our life, and there's no more blaming other people. There's no more, one of my mentors used the phrase, that person who uses tiny excuses for why they don't live great, like, but the screen door came off the hinges. Like, there's always a tiny reason, right?
Yes.
That kind of living must now be void. The language of excuse-itis must be gone.
Exactly.
And it is a new paradigm of leadership for women.
Exactly. And the reason why, and what each woman is experiencing, is there's certain, what we'll call energy pathways or clearing pathways that are undergoing some, I want to call it blasting. Like, it's just like, and where they connect to is from your person, like the everyday personality that has been dragging herself along, going, I don't know when it's going to change. And that those pathways are now, because of equinox, because of the cycle, because of this era, because of this change we're in, that they are opening up so that you have in this, what we call a time cycle in equinox. It's usually about 3 days before, 3 days after. That means we're already in it, where there's it's like a thinness to the veils. It's like saying, I know, not I hope or I wish, but I know. And when you go into that, I know I must do this. I know I must take my step into my true identity of self, my true soul purpose. When you say those words to yourself, the energy gets behind you and pushes you. It's like it gets behind your back and says, go. And
Yes.
so when you say, okay, I'm going to go, I'm going to try this. The shift on the planet right now, with women leading it out, with women deciding that this is the way we need to live, the families, our children, for ourselves, and for our legacy, for our lineage shift, is that we are not staying in the limitations and the fears and the restrictions and the thought processes that I'm going to take one more minute here about this. It has been tangled up like a skewer in your gut. This tangling up from the past paradigm was tangled up in fears, insecurities, self-worth issues, lack of confidence, and a poor identity of wearing a mask that you were told to wear by everybody and everything around you. That entanglement is spring loading right now.
Literally,
spring loading.
And I'm not kidding. A lot of you listening, if you do some of those physical practices of the exhales, walking it off, dancing it off, you will probably find, not that this is anything to do with a weight episode, but you'll probably lose a couple pounds because all of that, all those things in the coil that you just mentioned, it literally is going to like pop out of the body. And you're going to be like, why did that take so long?
I know. So
why did that
there's
take
blessings.
So long?
I know. Equinox is a mixed bag always. It has, and this one's extra special. It's blessings that it's like the relief and the realizations, the ahas and the enlightenment, and then mixed with that, I can't believe I waited so long. So I love the fact that we are literally opening up and making choices now. So there's going to be some women out there saying, how do I keep it going? How do I keep the momentum going? Well, I am telling you that according to the intuitive guidance in my work, I've been shown and guided to share that the forward leadership of women is going to be forward, front loaded in spiritual training. Now, what is that? It's your full on face to face, you taking on the direct challenge of pushing yourself further than you have before. You're saying, I love who I am and I'm moving into it. Now, what you have is an equal and opposite push back from the universe, the spirit of the divine. It's like it's push and it's joining you. So it's an emerging, it's an interface that allows you to emerge greater than before. And you are going to love it. Like, you're going to find that each day you feel that much better. And you're going to say, wow, why is this happening? It's because you're not letting your foot off the gas. You're not. You're saying, you know what? I love myself too much. I'm keeping my foot on the gas. And while you do that and honor yourself, the results happen. Now, I heard you. You're correct, Lee, when you say you need a day of rest. Absolutely. That's part of it. The nurturing is a big part of it. The self-care is a huge part of it. But the forward part is more your exertion on honoring what you're thinking, honoring your creativity, honoring what you want to build. That's when I say keep the foot on the gas, because don't let your ideas flit out the window. Do
Yeah.
not let them fly out the window anymore.
It's
Those are
go
your,
time.
it's go time.
It's spiritual go time. And we said yesterday, like, true, authentic spiritual teaching is the new yoga. We said
Absolutely.
this yesterday.
Oh,
Like,
so
for your
good.
next era, spiritual mastership, spiritual training,
Oh, huge.
it's the daily yoga now. Not that you
You know,
don't do the yoga too,
oh
but
yeah.
this is the era of spiritual training, so that every day we get better and better. And
Yes.
think of it like sailing in a storm. We ride the waves with more grace.
Yes. Yes. And
And
that's, sorry.
I was just going to say, question for you. This has come up because we talked a few episodes ago about battle fatigue.
Yeah.
A lot of women, it's not that they don't want a great life or they want to find their true soul purpose, but they're emotionally burnt out. They're in
Yes.
emotional deficit. And a lot of them have considered, maybe I should just call it a day and let myself go and watch Netflix and eat crappy food, because I
Yeah.
am in such a deficit that I just want to bawl my eyes out. So
Okay.
can you give some insights to somebody that's maybe eating popcorn, bawling, feeling like I've considered letting myself go? Like,
Yeah.
what should
Well,
that?
there's a few things on that. First of all, let's talk about what a new era and a new paradigm means. When you're in a new era and a new paradigm, you have access to thought patterns that were not there before. Okay. So let me play this out for you in a little analogy. If pre-equinox and throughout 2025, you've been sitting there on your couch with your bag of popcorn and a Netflix movie and a box of Kleenex, and you're saying, I just don't have the momentum and the motivation. I'm just burnt out. That's because you didn't know, nor did you have access to, and I'm going to explain how it was shown to me to help you if this is something in spiritual studies over the years you come to know, but I've never seen it this big. And that's why I want to qualify it. So every equinox and solstice time, and there's other periods throughout the year when there's special cycles, we are sitting there then with our popcorn and we're sitting on the couch, and we have like this veil over us. Like we're like literally sitting there like this. And all we see is what's in front of us. Okay. Now, when an era, a cycle opens up, such as this important one, all of a sudden, that veil, which was there hiding you, starts to go like this. It starts to get malleable. It gets loose. It gets weak. And so the veil, it's like a curtain, and the curtain starts to peel back. And you're sitting there going, I don't want to sit here and cry and watch this movie. I don't like this. You wake up the next day or you say, why did I do that? And this veil is thinning and thinning. And there's an influence. And how I could best say, I was shown it, is that it's like a break. It's like a window. What it is like it's actually an energy intelligence lens within yourself. So it's almost like a little window opens up. And this big lens, this big light starts to shine on you, where before all you could feel was that illusion, that curtain or that veil over you. And then you now have access to concepts and directives that you didn't have when you were sitting on the couch. So is it your fault that you were sitting on the couch feeling that way? No, you didn't. You couldn't hear that. It wasn't there. But all of a sudden now, end of last quarter, 2025, moving into the equinox to the solstice, this window's open. And so now, ladies, what I'm saying is that if you sit quietly, or if you pay attention in the strangest times, when you're out walking, you're in your sauna, you are feeding the dog, you are whatever, you're going to get this insight, and you're going to say to yourself, what is that? why
Mhm.
why do I feel like I should do that project now? But I wasn't feeling it a week ago, 2 weeks ago, a month ago. It's because this window is open. And that's why you're tapping into it. That's why your intuition, women's intuition, is picking it up. Now, there's still that, a little of that, like we're cleaning out the cobwebs, as you said, just over the beginning of this entry into the last quarter. You've got some cobwebs you're pushing out, but this other side is stronger. So that's the power of your super mind. It's called the super mind. It's actually a part of the cosmic divine, or the higher soul consciousness in you, that's stronger than ever before. And you think, where has it been?
Yeah,
Where has
totally.
it been? But here it is. Here it
Yeah,
is.
and I think what we're trying to also share is that if you can really even re-listen to this and find the little nuggets in it, if you have a rhythm and a practice daily, your next chapter is going to be exponentially momentous compared to
Exactly.
your last one. Sometimes people are like, oh, well, my last chapter, it took me so long to get that success or to,
Yeah.
and so there's the brain, the intellect is like, it's going to take you that long to do it again. But it's like, no, this is now
No.
the divine is pushing,
Yes.
like he said. So the exponential growth, it's going to be, you can't even fathom
It's
where you are going. But
it is.
you must have the practices in place. You must commit
Yes.
to your own excellence and your own
Yes.
worthiness, right? It's like, so don't be surprised if the beginning of this quarter, you may have some excess bawling or
It's
grief
right.
or
Yeah.
tears,
It's clearing out.
or you just have these frustrations that you need to voice. It's like that's all. It's like it wants to exit the body.
Yes.
The other thing too is a lot of women, when they have too much stored trauma that's like trying to get out, but they're suppressing it. They often they get so rigid they forget to soften.
Yes.
So there's not a softness in their field. And so you might notice that in your quiet, you might be like, oh my gosh, like I'm so hard and aggressive and manly in my energy. And
Yeah.
you might notice that and be like, it just wants to soften. My body
Yes.
just wants to soften. I want to forgive. I want to surrender. I want to stop being mad at everybody. I want to stop blaming everybody. It's too exhausting. And it only harms my field, you know?
Exactly. Exactly. And remember, purification. Okay, so a little bit on the purification as the women are going through this transformational time and they're accessing the higher directives. A purification of not just the physical, but there's energy purification practices that are very subtle that go with the physical. Whether that's your bath time or shower time, you add some sea salt into your bath. You have essential oils, you have flower essences, you have your practice of, as you said, of your breathing. You put on certain music or sound baths. Those things help you to soften and to help with the purification. So there is always a little bit of a wobble
Mhm.
through equinox. Okay. But the wobble, I can promise you that if you stay in your equilibrium of trusting and listening to yourself, what's going to happen is that the doorway I'm talking about, or the openness that you're stepping into and you are receiving, because it's equinox, there's no effort on that. It's happening because it's equinox. If you can just pay attention and decide to do even one thing, you are moving in the right direction. Now,
Mhm.
for those of you who are a gun ho and want to dive right into your spiritual training, you're certainly going to have a faster, or like an accelerated trajectory. But I would like every woman to know that every step of acceptance is going to um, as you say, exponentially, or move the woman along with results that you wouldn't expect normally.
Yeah.
We're not in the old story. If I can get that across before we close in this tonight, is the old storyboard is closing up. It's like it's done. You can't go back into your old storyboard. Your new paradigm and new storyboard is like you honoring your creative ideas, you honoring unfinished projects that you wish you would want to start, projects that are brand new and you're just scratching the surface of them. Those should all be tabled, like put them out on the table for yourself.
Yes. Love it. Love it. And we've gone a little past our 30
Okay.
minutes, which we often do. And we'll be back next Sunday. And the one thing I just wanted to mention too, because I know a lot of you are like me, like you don't have hours in the day for self-care and reflection and quiet time. So sometimes what I do is, without getting extreme with productivity, sometimes what I do is I layer on a lot of my rituals from my rhythm into one. So like when I'm in the sauna, I do like my detox mask, I do some cupping with some castor oil, and I have some music therapy while I'm in there. And I just wanted to mention for any of you who you feel like my cells need some music healing this week. There is an album that I think is so beautiful, and I use it often when I'm doing a week of just like letting go and surrendering. And she's actually Canadian, Alexandra Streleski. And some of you, I'll put it in the comments, but she has an album called Inscape, and it's so beautiful. And I love her so much. So I just wanted to share that because again, music is so important for our healing. Yes. So I'll put a link to her album in the comments. And again, don't forget that we're here for you. So if you have any questions, or we hope you'll join us every Sunday. But if you're, like we mentioned, spiritual training is the new yoga. And if you don't yet have spiritual teachers or a community to support your daily spiritual mastership, we would love to invite you to join us in Spiritual Society. We're committed for the long haul, and we have such a knowing that in this new era, it's a non-negotiable. Women need daily spiritual mastership and mentorship, and so we would love to have you join us. All you have to do is join us at spiritualsociety.com, or you can send us a little message wherever you're watching this broadcast. So thank you so much, and remember, this is a really big week. Honor yourself, get inspired, and don't be afraid to get a little frustrated and express that with a little dose of grace on top.
Exactly. Many blessings. Enjoy.
Take care. Bye-bye.
Bye now.